Coding a custom interface for AI custom service is going to be a little bit outside this particular course. And fortunately for the AI 100 exam, there won't be any kind of such details covered. However, you must be prepared to answer any kind of questions that may ask about components or the technical mechanism with which the interface is created. This is fortunately very easy to understand, easy to implement because you got all the REST APIs and the hard work is all done by Microsoft. So you got the web applications that are hosted on some kind of a web service, and depending on whether it's a cognitive service or a custom machine learning projects, we don't have a lot of options necessarily within those particular services that we need to be concerned about. These options are pretty straightforward and they are the way they are. However, there are a couple of exceptions, and we do want to talk about them real quick with the Custom Vision API website. Now, this website that you see here is the customvision.ai website, which you can just access by navigating to this page. Like you can see that it's a visual intelligence, it's a visual cognitive service, and all you gotta do is upload your images and then tag those images to anything that's unlabeled and let the custom vision AI model train those labeled images. And finally, it will evaluate those images based on how you have tagged. Now, if that is difficult to understand, don't worry, I will sign in right now to this portal and show you how that works. Now, here's a sign in button. All right, so I'm just logging in with my user ID and it loads up my accounts and the projects if I've done something in the past. But for you, it may be different. If this is the first time you're loading up a custom vision API, then you may have to go through certain terms and conditions and agreeing to them. All right, the first thing that you do is create a new project. And here you got the options to select your Azure subscription. So I'm on pay as you go, so I'll leave it the way it is. And then you can select whether your project type is based on classification or object detection. Object detection will find a particular image within a larger image, whereas classification would be classifying the entire image. The next one is how do you want to classify those? Do you have tags to it? If there is a tag, is it a single tag per image or multiple tags per image? And finally, what are the various categories or domains that your images pertain to? So once you're satisfied with these values, go ahead and fill up a name, a description, and then click on Create a Project. What I've done in order to save time here is created a project already with the name Delta. And let's say this project is to identify whether the picture of the animal uploaded here, is it a domestic animal or is it a wild animal? So I have already uploaded quite a lot of images that you see here. This is not coming by default. I have uploaded these images by downloading it from the internet first and using this add image section and then uploading all the images that I have in my library. All right. So once they are uploaded into this particular project, it's time to tag them because at this point, the custom vision AI doesn't know whether this animal, whether it's domestic animal or a wild animal. All right. So I'm going to quickly upload one and show how it goes. So I'll click on add images and then upload, let's say, a snake. Okay. So one image will be added. Let's click on upload file and this image is successfully uploaded. And then how do we tag it? Well, to tag it, all I have to do is click on this particular image and then categorize this as wild or domestic. But if there is a new tag, you can click on this plus icon to add a new tag there. But for now, I'll just click on wild and that's done. So as you see, I've got these two options to toggle between. There's a tag and untagged section. Under the tag section, I've got domestic and wild. So 16 photographs are tagged as wild, whereas 17 photographs are tagged as domestic ones. Okay. All right. Till this point, it's all a manual process. Now we need to tell the AI solution, the custom vision API solution, that if there is a new picture that I'm uploading to it, it needs to categorize that picture based on what it has learned and tell to me whether it is domestic or wild. For that, you need to train this, okay? So first thing that you'll do is click on train and then click on this train button here. All right, so I'll just go ahead and click on train and let it do what it is doing. It may take about 8 to 10 minutes to get this training done, so I will pause this video and resume once this is ready. Alright, looks like that is done. And we got some results here. There's a precision of 66% and there's a recall of 50%. That means this training model finds 50% of the images correctly tagged. And then MAP, which stands for the mean average precision, which just means basically how my tags have performed. And then scrolling down a little bit here, it says that the precision is 100% for domestic, but 50% for wild, and then relative metrics for individual tags as well. Okay, now we can export these values, which can then be imported into one of these platforms. Could be TensorFlow, Docker files, ONX, or Core ML. So if you want to take this data forward and process it into any other third-party application or Microsoft applications, you can do that as well. All right, so I'll close this now and then click on predictions. Now this is where you can start to see if the new images that can be uploaded into this custom vision AI can be tagged properly. Let's go run a quick test on this. So I just clicked on quick test and then I can either browse to that JPEG or the animal picture or browse files locally. So I'll click on browse local files and then let's say I will double click on this particular image. Now is that domestic or wild? Looks like it found two frames here, and this frame on the right hand side is domestic, and the one on the left hand side is also found to be domestic. So both of these tags are domestic here. Okay, so the probability of these two animals, which are like lovely cute dogs, is of course domestic, and the probability as shown here. Okay, that was about customvision.ai. So you can run and practice through these tests yourself by navigating to Custom Vision AI, and you can do that. There's another one that I want to show you since we're talking about web-based platforms to run through these tests. This is Custom Vision, and there's another one which is Bing Custom Search. This is easy to use, ad-free, commercial grade search tool that lets you deliver the results you want. So this is another good example of cognitive services being used in the search APIs. So you can tailor these and integrate these search options within your own custom websites, maybe, probably in your internal SharePoint portal. So you have to then cosmetically modify the fonts and colors and schemes that will fit into your internal infrastructure. You can also do the same thing with Custom Vision API by generating a URL for this, right? So generally speaking, from a developer's perspective, you can do a lot of that tailoring. And this is one of the reasons why you do not have to know a lot of code because Microsoft has already done the hard work. It's all available there. But you need to understand the concepts. You need to understand the frames. You need to understand the technology that runs this complex infrastructure.